kaku, or to write, I'm sorry, to write. So we got the stem of kaku, which is ka. Now, the ku part can change depending on how you conjugate it. For base 1, it would be a ka, you'd say kaka. For base 2, it would be kaki. For base 3, it would be kaku. For base 4, it would be kake. And for base 5, it would be kako. Now, as you could tell, it went ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, which is the actual vowels of the Japanese alphabet. So remember that the bases follow the vowels of the alphabet. Alright, well now let's go to hanasu. That's the base 3 form of hanasu, which is the verb for to speak. So we got the stem being hana, then we have base 1 hanasa, base 2 hanashi, base 3 hanasu, base 4 hanase, base 5 is hanaso. So that's for hanasu. Now we got yomu. And yo is the stem. Yomu is to read. Okay. Base 1 is yoma. Base 2 is yomi. Base 3 is yomu. Base 4 is yome. Base 5 is yomo. So that's for an example, some of the verb and how the different verbs using the different bases change in sound. This table is going to go over the ichidan verbs. For example, for ichidan verbs, we have taberu and miru. Tabe is the stem of taberu. Taberu means to eat. Ichidan verbs don't have a base 1 or a base 2, but they do have the other bases. So for taberu, it'd be base 3 would be taberu, base 4 would be tabere, and base 5 would be tabeyo. Miru would be miru for base 3, mire for base 4, and miyo for base 5. Okay, well, let's go over the irregular verbs, which is suru and kuru. Now, suru and kuru, technically, they don't have a stem. Depending on the situation grammar-wise, you will put the whole word in a different conjugation. So, for example, suru, base 1 form is shi, base 2 form is shi, base 3 form is suru, base 4 form is sure, and base 5 is shio. Kuru, base 1 is ko, base 2 is ki, base 3 is kuru, base 4 is kure, base 5 is koyo. Koyo. So these verbs conjugate a little bit differently. Of course, you'll only use them in certain situations, so it's not very hard to figure out when you're going to need to use them. But remember these rules as we learn the grammar ahead. As we learn grammar, you'll take the verb, whatever verb you're trying to say, you'll put it in a base form, depending on what the grammar is, and then you'll end it with the Moss box, or an ending form. Now I'm going to explain the Moss box to you very quickly, because you'll end the verbs with the Moss form. Okay, so Moss is exactly like des box. You have past, present, future, positive, negative. So present positive is mas. Mas. You just would say mas at the ending. With just using the verb in a basic structure with the mas box, you will take a base 2 form of the verb and add mas to the ending. And the different kinds of mas depending on the conjugation that you want. So we have mas, we have mashita, we have masen, and we have masen deshita. So for example, we'll take hanasu and put it into different conjugated forms. Ha, na, shi, mas. Hana is the stem. Shi is the base 2 form of hanasu. And then we have mas at the end. It means I will speak or to speak. Now if you said hanashi mashita, it means I spake. I spake to that person. Then we have hanashimasen. I will not speak. I will not speak. Then we have hanashimasen deshita, which is I did not speak. I did not speak. So did not is the negative past form of the word. So this is how the Moss box works. You add the ending to the sentence and you conjugate Moss depending on what the verb is. Let's do another one really quickly, which is iku. Iku means to go. Iku changes to iki when you put it in the base 2 form. Okay, we have iki. Ikimasu means I will go. Ikimasen means I will not go. Then we have ikimashita, I went. And then we have ikimasen deshita, which means I did not go. So that's the different ways you would conjugate the verb iku, to go, and using it in different sentences. So now let's have a couple example sentences to explain a little bit how you can use verb conjugation in sentences. Now just remember that this is all new to you at the time, so it might be kind of hard to get down at first. But just remember these structural rules when we go through other grammar in the future. It will all make sense a little bit better as we go through more grammar in the future, and you'll understand how the verb conjugation works a little bit more. But you need to remember these rules at first. Now, a couple easy examples we can use for verbs are such as watashi wa ikimasu. Watashi wa ikimasu. I will go. Or for example, watashi wa tabemashita. Watashi wa tabemashita. I ate. Or for example, or watashi wa kikimashita. Watashi wa kikimashita. I listened. Kare wa kikimasen deshita. Kare wa kikimasen deshita. He did not listen. When you're using the mas box, you'll just take off the ru on the end of the sentence. So if you said taberu in the mas form, you would have tabemasu. You would just take off the ru and put the mas on the end. And for miru, it'd be mimasu. Mimasu. So for example, if you wanted to say I see, you say watashi wa mimasu. Watashi wa mimasu. Now that's saying I will see or I see. Watashi wa mimasu. Thanks for joining for the verbs discussion. If you have any questions, you can email me at waizusensei@hotmail.com. Also, check out the website. And if you'd like to help with this podcast, and please make a donation. Even a donation of $1 would help me out a whole bunch, and be able to run this podcast for a longer time. And I'm hoping to get out lesson 4 out within the next couple weeks and start having 2 lessons every month. I'm back home from college now, and I have a little bit more time, so I'm going to try really hard to get this podcast out, because I know I've got a lot of good feedback from everyone, and I'd like to say thank you for everyone that you're giving me good feedback and helping this podcast out. Anyways, thank you for listening. Bye.